Despite the violence, authorities have rejected calls to put more police on the streets. The Premier and the Chief Commissioner challenging Victorians to take greater responsibility.
No mincing words for John Brumby as he joined our top cop Simon Overland in condemning the latest brutal assaults.
Senseless, mindless, gutless cowardice.
But the government and police appear at a loss as to what more they can do.
But how on earth can you expect police to prevent some of the things that we've been seeing? I mean, we cannot be in every fast food outlet across Victoria. We can't be outside every hotel.
It's time, the Premier says, for the community to take a stand.
And if you're a brother or a sister or a mother or a father or a workmate and you know somebody who's committed an assault or who's thinking about it, you've got to tell them just how unacceptable it is.
But the opposition argues more visible policing and tougher sentencing are vital deterrents.
80% of people causing serious injury serve 2 years or less in jail.
Authorities have their own theories as to just why such incidents of violence are on the rise. The police chief pointing to the growing affluence among youth, and even parents' unwillingness to say no to their children. Added to that, a greater propensity to settle disputes with fists and weapons.
There is some influence from popular culture around that, some desensitisation to violence. People see things happen on TV and in the movies and everyone gets up and walks away.
It's not just a Melbourne problem, it's a problem with violence generally.
Gareth Boreham, 10 News.
But the father of a man killed in a nightclub bashing 2 years ago says the latest attacks are proof of government inaction. He slammed the lack of police in violent trouble spots. And again, we warn some viewers may find images in the following story distressing.
There's not a day goes by that Bill McCormack doesn't think of his son Shannon, killed in a brawl outside the QBH nightclub 2 years ago. But today hurt more than others when he heard about two other young victims of Melbourne's violence.
Australians are famous for their ability to look after each other. Why are you hurting each other? I mean, I just don't understand why Australians are bashing each other's brains out.
Mr McCormack says his pleas have fallen on deaf ears for too long. He's demanding the government fund more police patrols in notorious hotspots.
It's only when a Premier's child's hurt that anything ever gets done. And one day it might happen to one of his kids, and he has to think about that. He's going to need to protect his own children, not just our children.
No charges have ever been laid over the death of 22-year-old Shannon McCormack. Meanwhile, the Mayor Robert Doyle is being forced to defend criticism that the council is being hypocritical by allowing a major boxing tournament to be held at the Town Hall tonight.
The fact that Swanston Street is the most violent street in Melbourne and having it on the most violent street in Melbourne is not really helpful.
I want to make it clear that there was a contractual arrangement in place for the boxing match that is happening tonight, and following that there'll be no more boxing or kickboxing in Town Hall.
Mr Doyle admits there's no quick fix.
The full force of the law should be applied to send the clearest message possible that this is not tolerated in Melbourne.
Cameron Smith, 10 News.